Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to cover how to connect the database with the Java program. So for that, we need to install MySQL server, and that version I am using is 9.2.0. So when we open the web page, it is showing the various options, and from that you can download MSI installer. And when we download, it will ask you to log in or sign up, or you can use any method to download that. Then once we download that, open that folder, downloads folder, and double click on that so that the MySQL server will be installed. Select I accept the terms of license agreement. If you want, I can read all these things. Then click on I accept. Then click on next. There are three options: are the typical, custom, and complete. You can select complete here. Then click on install. So it will take a couple of minutes to install that corresponding server. So it is installing. As you can see, the progress bar is showing that. So once it was installed, we need to configure that. As there is an option called run MySQL configure, then click on finish. So when we click on finish, it will open the configuration, MySQL configuration it will open. And once it was opened, as you can see left hand side, there are multiple commands are there. All these commands we need to execute. So by clicking on next, it will ask you the TCP IP port as well as X protocol port. By default, MySQL server TCP port is 3306, and we need to give root password as well as the repeat password. And make sure remember the password what you are entering here, because whenever we are connecting the database, the same password we need to use here. So repeat the same password, then click on next. Once we click on next, as you can see, the service name it is showing MySQL 92. That means whenever you are going to start the service, we need to remember MySQL 92. Then click on next. As I'm selecting the option grant full access, then click on next. If you want, you can select any one of the sample databases. Then we need to execute all these commands. Click on execute here, so that one by one the files are going to be compiled. Once all the commands are executed, then we can click on next, so that the configuration of MySQL server is going to be completed. So we finished the configuration of MySQL server. Then what we need to do is we need to open the services app here, because we need to start the service of MySQL 92 as the service name we have. So search for MySQL 92 in the service box, then right click on that, so that as you can see there is a status we are showing. We need to click right click and check restart. So MySQL services are restarted here. Now we need to locate where the MySQL server is there. So for that, in general, in C program files, MySQL server 9.2 bin, and locate the bin folder and open the command prompt from that, so that we can open the MySQL services to activate. For that, I'm writing MySQL minus u root minus p. So when we click on that, it is ask you the password. Enter the password what you given at the time of installation. So now MySQL has successfully installed. Which by this process we checked the MySQL was installed successfully. So once it was installed, now we are going to create the database. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm typing the command, SQL command like create database, and the database name is my database. Click on enter, and it is saying the database was created. Now I want to check how many databases are there in my system. As you can see, there are various databases are there. Among them, one of the database what we created, my databases also exists now. Now we are going to create the table. So for that, as we all know, to create the table, we have a command called create table. So I'm going to create the table for the student, and inside the database, I want to create that. For that, I'm writing use my database. Then create table. Table name I'm writing student. Then I want to create multiple columns in that particular table, like ID, and I want to increment the ID, student ID. For that, I'm writing ID integer type auto increment. I want to make this as a primary key. Then I want to use student name, student underscore name of type, character type. That's why I'm writing varchar some size I'm giving. Let us assume 20. Then I want to make this as a not null so that we should not keep empty. And age also I'm taking age integer not null. Then department I'm taking department, variable name is department. Then of type character type, that's why I'm writing varchar. Then this also I want to make it not null so that I'm writing department varchar, some size I'm giving, and not null I'm taking. So by this, I'm creating the table with four columns: ID, name, and age, department. With these four columns, we are going to create the table. So once we press enter, it is showing the table was created. Let us see how many tables are there in that particular database. As the database is named my database and the table name is student. Now I want to create one user by writing create user localhost. So I'm giving the username as a user, password as a password here, and I want to give all the privileges for this particular user. So whatever the operations we are going to perform on the table, like insert, delete, display, update, and whatever the operations we are going to perform on the table, I want to give full privileges to the corresponding user. So for that, I'm writing grant all privileges on the database name is my database dot star. How many tables we have in that particular database? For all the tables, I want to give privileges for the user at the rate localhost. So that's all. Then I given flush privileges. I'm giving here flush privileges so that the all the grants, all the permissions are granted for this particular. Now we'll go for Eclipse, launch Eclipse. Then I want to create one Java project now. For that, what we need to do is click on File. So this is the previous one. I want to. There are multiple projects are there in that, and I want to create one new project for this. So for that, I'm going to File, New, click on Java project. So one menu will be displayed here. One pop-up window will be displayed. I want to enter the project name, and let us assume my project name is. Let us take student DB. So student database. My project name is student database. Student DB. I'm giving, and you can check all these details. No need to change any details here. Click on finish. So that's all. The database, the project is created. Java project was created. So when we click on the database, when we click on the project name, student DB, it will show the various source files as well as the library files. Now we need to add the connector, Java connector called driver here. So we need to add MySQL connector Java JDBC driver. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the connector here. For that, I'm typing MySQL connector 9.2. If you type, so we can download from the official web page. Make sure these drivers are going to be downloaded from the official web page only. As we can see, there are various operating systems are there. As I'm downloading for Windows, I'm selecting platform independent. Then we can download tar file or we can download zip file, whatever it may be. I'm downloading zip file, and after downloading, we need to extract the zip file so that inside we have a jar file. That jar file we need to upload into Eclipse here. So when we click on no thanks, so it will download it here. Then extract, we are going to extract that, as we can see. So the files are going to be extracted. So once it was extracted, we can find one jar file inside that corresponding folder. As you can see, inside that we have a now we need to add the jar file. For that, I'm right click on the database name, that is project name, in that build path, and configure build path I'm selecting. So it is showing various options on top. I'm selecting libraries here, and for libraries, I'm going to choose the module path by adding external jar files. So for that, I'm clicking on add external jar file. Then whatever the extracted file we have, click on that, and inside that we can see there is a jar file. No need to go for any other. Under the MySQL, we have a MySQL connector J 9.2.0. double click on that, then apply and close, so that the driver is going to be added for my project. So once the jar file is added to that, then we can write our program now. So what I will do is, I'll go for file, new class file I'm taking. So when I'm selecting the class file, without package name, it is not possible to write the class name. That's why I'm writing the package name as my package, and I'm writing the class name as database connectivity.java. So select the appropriate options, then click on finish. So once we click on that, the jar file is going to be created here. Then I'm going to type the corresponding file. So once the file is done, we can run this code so that the database is going to be connected. Here, what I'm doing is, instead of writing the separate programs, I'm combining all the operations into one single file, so that whatever the we can perform insert operation, we can perform delete operation, as well as we can perform display operation. So for these three operations, I'm combining all these three operations are combined into one single program. If you want, you can do any one of that. If you want, you can add any one of the programs. Now, whatever the file we have, that corresponding file has to be deleted. When we come to the program, the package name is my package. I'm importing the respective files here. To accept the input, I'm writing scanner and sql.star. So import java.sql.star means whatever the functionality we have in the SQL, that all the methods are going to be imported for this particular program. And then scanner class I'm writing here to accept the input from the keyboard. The class name is database connectivity, and I'm writing URL, username, and password. So URL is MySQL, localhost 3306 is the default number for MySQL, and the my database name is my database. Then this is the privileges what I given here. Then username is root, and the password is password. So when we then I'm writing main method, then I'm writing the case studies here: case 1, case 2, case 3, and case 1 insert student, case 2 delete, case 3 display, case 4 exit. And we're accepting the choice here. Then if choice equal to 1, I'm calling the method called insert student. For case 2, delete student, case 3, display student, and case 4, exiting the program. Then default case, invalid choice, I'm writing here scanner dot close. Then for insert method, I'm writing the definition for insert method. So try connection equal to, connection is the object here for connection class, and the driver manager dot get connection, URL, user, and password. The URL is this one, and user is root, and the password is the password. Then I'm accepting the scanner class here. I'm creating object for the scanner class system.in, so that I'm accepting the values from the standard input, that is called keyboard. Then I'm accepting the name, age, as well as department. Then I want to insert these values into the table. For that, I'm writing string SQL equal into student, student name, age, department, values. Whatever the values you are giving here, that values I'm inserting into the corresponding table. Then try catch I'm writing here. Prepaid statement equal to connection.prepaid statement SQL. So string one name, age, department, and execute update, so that the corresponding values are inserted into the table. For that, I'm displaying one message called student details inserted successfully. If any exception is raised, we are going to raise an exception. In the same manner, for delete student also, I'm using the same credentials here. I'm using the scanner class to accept the ID. Once the ID is accepted, the corresponding row is going to be deleted here. For that, I'm writing the delete from student, where ID equal to whatever the input we given, that input we are going to accept here. So based on the input we given, the corresponding row is going to be deleted. If it is successfully deleted, we are going to print the message student deleted successfully, otherwise student ID not found. Same manner, display also, I am writing here select star from student. All the files are going to be printed here. For that, I am writing get integer, get string, as well as get integer age and get string department. So I want to print all that. So let us run the code. We'll see how many errors are there. So when I run this code, as you can see, student database operations, insert student, delete student, display student. Let us assume I'm giving 1 year. My choice is 1 to insert the data. When we run this, I choose option 1, and the student name is ABC, age 22, department CSC, that successfully inserted. So again, I am selecting the choice as 1 year, and the student name is XYZ, age is 33, and the department is IT. That's all. Again, I am selecting 1 year, then student name VQR, then age is 44, then the department is mechanical. That's all. Let us see how many are there. I'm selecting the choice 3, and it is showing that 3 records. As you can see here, these are the various records. Name, age, department, which we are inserting from the program. So these are the records we inserted from the program. Now let us see, let us check whether this particular data is updated in MySQL server or not. So for that, what I will do is I'll go back to the MySQL server, writing the query here. We can write the query, select star from student. As you can see, whatever the details we entered from the program, all these details are displayed here. So I hope I covered. That's all for now. If you have any queries, simply comment on me so that I'll try to reply. Thank you. All the best.